Some paper, ink stains. This must be the table where Bulling writes his copy. Good evening. There'll be a nice tip in it for you if you can tell me if you recently saw a journalist here.
Yes, sir. A damn nuisance, that man. And a real cad. He cursed me out something fierce for staining a book that he put down, even though it was him who was shaking so much that he soiled it with a whole lot of ale.
He was reading a book?
Oh, not a real book. A halfpenny rag. He put it down on the ground, and I put it in the paper bin for the stove. It should still be there if it weren't already put in the fire.
Goodbye, miss.
At your service, me lord.
Spring-heeled Jack, a fantastical character that terrorizes the population of London. This journalist has some far from cheerful reading. Evening. A pint for me and have one for yourself. I'm looking for a journalist, a good client of yours. Goes by the name of Bulling. Ring any bells?
Haven't seen him for a day or two. He must be sleeping it off somewhere. Where to hide from the landlord when you owe some serious bread?
What paper does he work for?
I don't know, but I can't believe that he works at his rag, because he's always round the pub scribbling his useless papers. The last time I seen him, he spent a whole day at that table drinking and scratching away from morning till night. He finished by celebrating, and without the help of a rich chap, he would have fleeced me of a guinea.
Thank you, my friend.
That's nothing.
Some paper, ink stains. This must be the table where Bulling writes his copy. Let's return to Baker Street. Tom Bulling isn't here, but the Baker Street irregulars should be able to track him down. Perhaps Watson will have something to tell me in the morning.
Up at last, Holmes. Were you able to get anything from that crook at the Wasp's Nest yesterday?
Not yet, but I am working on it. And yourself, Watson, what were you able to find out from your colleague about the sale of second-hand female parts?
Holmes? Well, actually...
Let it be, Watson. It was tiring, no doubt.
Well, as soon as I mentioned the possible existence of a black market dealing in human parts, everyone in the hospital became very tense. This silence, therefore, tells us more than anything else at this point.
However, I have trouble believing that such a peculiar dealing as that involving Annie Chapman's uterus could have gone unnoticed in the medical community, if that is indeed what happened.
That's my opinion, as well as that of my old university colleague. He maintains that any form of organ trafficking would be impossible, not to mention unnecessary. However, he did tell me something rather troubling. The unexplained disappearance of several corpses from the hospital morgue. He has allowed me to investigate, provided I do so discreetly, and here is what I found, concealed in what appeared to be a secret letterbox.
Interesting. An encoded message.
Indeed. And look, the symbol of a certain well-known Spartaca encyclopedia is printed on it. Perhaps it will help in deciphering the letter.
Thank you, Watson. Are you going out again?
I promised a new patient, Captain Stenick, I'd go round to examine him. He lives nearby. I may be back before you've had a chance to decipher this mysterious message.
Good. Let's decipher the encoded words in the message that Watson found at the London hospital. Good. Let's decipher... Elementary. My dear Watson, I congratulate you on your investigation. This letter seems to well and truly confirm the organised trafficking of bodies in London.
My God, how dreadful.
Watson, we must go to the address that appears in this message. I would suggest you take your weapon.
It hasn't left my side since the beginning of this whole affair, Holmes.
I'll also be putting on my workman's disguise again. One never knows.
But what about me, Holmes?
Stay as you are, Watson. At worst, you can pass as my employer. Find Wharfdale Road on the map of London, Watson.
Understood, Holmes. Yes, I have, Holmes.
Here we are, Watson. 17 Wharfdale Road. Let's be careful.
You think so, Holmes? This house seems to be abandoned.
Given the layer of dust accumulated in the square, this door must rarely open. Closed. This lock is solid but very old. I should be able to force it. This lock is solid but very old. I should be able to force it.
What shall we do, Holmes?
This door was recently reinforced. Impossible to open it. Numerous footsteps. Apparently this passage is used frequently. This wheel is in good shape, but it is impossible to remove it. The pin holding it is stuck. This trolley seems to be in good condition, apart from the broken wheel, of course. Look, if we lift a board from this window, we should be able to pass through. But first we have to get ourselves up there.
You are joking, Holmes?
Hard cover. There, this piece of tarpaulin is very thin, but solid enough for our purposes.
But what the devil are you doing, Holmes?
There, by sliding this piece of tarred tarpaulin, I was able to quite simply force the lock. Let's go in.
Incredible!
Closed.